Happy Diwali to you all from me, Satish Rai, and Raivision Film team. They say Diwali is time for reflection, which I have been doing for last several years since my last Diwali in Fiji in 1979. At the time, we lived in the village of Natabua, and the whole clan got together. There were about up to 100 people got together in the evening, and we celebrated Diwali. And soon after that, I left Fiji and settled in UK. And each year during Diwali, I reflect, I go back on those days back in the villages of Fiji, where the whole village, not just a family, not just a relative, the whole village would get together and celebrate Diwali. In our particular case, Natabua, as people would know, is more or less divided into one half Hindus and the second half Muslims. And there was a very great tradition since I can remember, where this tradition involved the whole village, both the Hindus and Muslims, to participate in the Diwali festivities. How it happened is about 2 weeks prior to Diwali, we as young people will go to our Muslim neighbors and we will start collecting little cans, tins, the tobacco tins, the very small ones, and then there will be Milo tins and sunshine tins and cocoa tins, and we'll scramble with each other to get as many of these tins and cans, and we would collect. And of course we were about 40 or 50 cousins living together, and we'll try to get as many as possible. And a day or two before Diwali, we would start preparations. The women would of course start cooking sweets and savories, and lots of them, because eventually on Diwali night the whole village, all the Muslim friends and neighbors would come to our place, and so a lot of cooking was done, and we boys, joined by our sisters, our cousins, and we'll start filling the cans with kerosene, and then we'll make small wicks, and we'll puncture the top, the lid, and we'll insert the wicks in that, and then we will construct a temporary raised platform on which we would place these cans, and then interspaced with candles. Of course, the candles. The idea of getting these cans, the small and the larger ones especially, because the larger ones would burn throughout the night, and the candles will flicker for about an hour or so, depends on how big the candles were, and the smaller cans as well will burn out in 2-3 hours. But the larger ones, the sunshine milk tins and the mallow tins, and they would burn throughout the evening. And this is the tradition went on in a village as long as I remember, from the age of probably 5, and every year would do that. And in the evening, relatives would come and join us from Ba, Lotoka, Nandi, Singatoka, Rekreki, and there will be a festive occasion for with about 100 to 150 people, and we will all share the delicious sweets and meal that the ladies would have prepared. And of course, during Eid celebrations, our Muslim neighbors would invite us to their places and would wait for that occasion for the whole year, because as Diwali is a vegetarian occasion, whereas Eid we look forward to, especially for the pilau. And so each year we would look forward to that. And now many years since, I said the last one I remember celebrating in Fiji in that way was in 1979 or 80, and then ever since then on the Diwali day I would think about those days, especially my last one where that was the last Diwali I celebrated with my mum, with my dad, with my uncles, and with my cousins, and today in Natabua, as I said somewhere else, we have hardly anybody remaining over there. Unfortunately, my beloved uncle, 97-year-old Dr Rai, passed away earlier this year, about a couple of months ago. With that, Natabua hardly has got anybody. I've got one cousin, his wife living there, and I got a nephew, and the rest of them have either passed away. And in this day on Diwali, we think about them, their contributions. They were part of our lives, not so far back. So we think about them, and we think about all the brothers and the cousins and nephews and nieces, as well as the villages of Natabua who are no longer there. They are dispersed in many parts of the world. Some live in Sydney, and I was glad at the Arya Samaj Diwali I managed to celebrate that Diwali with one of my brothers and one of my sisters and some of our friends. We do meet over here, but unfortunately many others are spread in New Zealand and many cities of Americas, and in Canada, in UK. So today is a day to reflect on that, to think about them and those good old days. And also Facebook today allows us to share our experience, our thoughts with each other. And this morning is set, and we exchange Diwali greetings with each other. And also today is a time, they say, to reflect on what's going on in our community today, both in the diaspora as in Fiji, and it's time to learn from the history and also forge out a future for our community whose foundation was laid in Fiji by our Gurmitiya ancestors, and which has been enriched by our local native Fijians and other communities, Chinese communities, and how we see our future till the next year and beyond. And hopefully by next Diwali, Fiji would have had its elections, and Fiji would have a democratically elected government. We are looking forward to that. So next year we might talk about that, and till then I'm wishing you a very happy Diwali and prosperous New Year from me and from my Raivision Film. Thank you. Happy Diwali.